think everybody's opinion was pretty much the same, that Owen Farrell's high tackle was reckless and it was direct contact to the head. And because he's had previous and the similar tackle with no wrapping and being high, that he was going to receive a ban. Maybe that could have been 2 or 3 games, or they could have really tried to lay down the law of him missing parts of the World Cup. But at the end of the day, Donny, Owen Farrell has went through with his legal side, with the siding commissioners and everybody else involved, and they've come up to say that he's free to play, and that his tackle deserved a yellow card and not a red card, and that the referees on the day got the decision wrong. So, like, we're now a few days after it, and everybody's still going on social media saying how bad it is, and that World Rugby needs to get involved, and there needs to be a U-turn done in this decision. That's all well and good, but it now almost feels personal, that it's Owen Farrell that's being, his career is, people are telling him that he should never be playing rugby again, and he's the captain of England, and he's setting such a bad example to the young kids. All like, this guy has set a good example on the most part for world rugby and putting English rugby on the map and winning Grand Slams for England, and leading in his dad's footsteps for England. And I think, yes, I was flabbergasted that he wasn't given a ban. However, to get stuck into him, all the media circles, and this isn't just the English media, it's worldwide media that are absolutely crucifying him. And I think Andy Farrell said today that it's a complete circus around him, and I'm sure everybody talks about mental health and everything. I'm sure it's having a pretty big impact on him as well. So everybody forgets about that. Everybody just thinks he's the bad guy, and everybody just thinks that he should be banned just because he made a decision in a split-second moment with a high tackle. And I get that, and I still stand over that he should have received a ban, and it was a red card incident. But that hasn't happened. And I'm sure English Rugby have put a pretty good legal team together to fight his corner, and they fought it obviously very, very well. So I think it's nearly about time that old ground isn't dug up again, and that we're talking about this for another 2 weeks, and it takes a lot of emphasis off the Rugby World Cup, because rugby fans out there, we didn't want to see Johnny Sexton get banned when he was talking to the referee in the European Cup final. We didn't want to see him get banned and miss the Rugby World Cup. We want to see Johnny Sexton playing in the Rugby World Cup. We also want to see Owen Farrell playing a Rugby World Cup. But should all that be taken out of it just for one reckless tackle that it didn't lead to an injury? Yes, it was high, but I think especially on social media, it's been taken a little bit too far, and it's almost an opportunity for the media to get stuck into Owen Farrell personally. And yeah, that's my own take on it. And if I was in his shoes, I'm sure I'd be feeling pretty down, and not wanting to go out to the shop every day, get the milk. People sitting slagging you off, or calling you this and that just because of one incident that happened. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens over the next couple of days with World Rugby's review, and if they want to take it further. But in my opinion, there needs to be a line drawn under it, and he's not involved this weekend, which suggests that Steve Worthwick wants to just take him out of that blazing fire that there is around the whole circus of events. So yeah, let's park it and move on, would be my suggestion. Yeah, it's a pretty much full strength. Take Prendergast out and put Keelan Doris in, and I think that would be the team, if all fit and ready to go, that would play in a World Cup quarter final. So we're going to see how they're going to perform. Parts of the Italy game, for me, there wasn't much flow, very stop start. They couldn't get their multi-phase play going, and with their full starting lineup, albeit put in Johnny Sexton there when he's fit and ready to go. I'm expecting a really strong performance by the lads. I think also you look at the English side, they're going to want a bit of redemption after what happened only a number of months ago when Freddie Stewart was red carded. And again, another refereeing decision that has come back to bite the citing commissioners and all the referees and World Rugby, because that should never have been a red card. But put that aside, it's going to be a really good game. But you still feel that Ireland are going to win this. They've won 24 of their last 25 home games, 15 on the spin. Also looking at a few stats that the team leading at halftime out of the last three test matches between Ireland and England have went on to win the game, and England's last three away matches have been defeats by 10 points or more. So you would expect Ireland on a few of those stats with the team that they've selected to get close to that 15-point handicap that the bookies are talking about. And that's where I think Ireland are going to be, that 10 to 15-point winning margin against an English side that are going to be full of brunt and brawn and want to show that they can start in a Rugby World Cup match for Steve Borthwick. But let's wait and find out. But I think it's all about Ireland this weekend and on what kind of performance we're going to all see, because I think Italy sort of went, oh, hold on a second, are these guys that aren't first team players, are they up to the same level? And that probably showed us in certain parts that they weren't. So I think Andy Farrell will be looking at a huge reaction. The weather also looks half decent for Saturday evening, and that also plays a big part for the way Ireland want to play the game. So I'm expecting Ireland to get very close to that 15-point handicap. I think Keith Earls, and I know Brian O'Driscoll and a number of other players, Ronan O'Gara has talked about this week that he sort of epitomises what Irish rugby is all about. Like, he's been through a few hard days as well over the last decade and a half, and yeah, he's a top bloke. He's probably one of the only Irish current players now that still speaks to me. So that's a good thing. But he's a quality operator, and he's a Andy Farrell's a big call to make. Keith Earls, Jacob Stockdale. Who's he going to bring? There's going to be one of these big names I think is going to miss out, or he could take both those guys and leave out Stuart McCluskey. When the squad's in name next week. So a few huge decisions to be made, but I think it's really important that Andy Farrell give Keith Earls that 100th cap in front of his home crowd on home soil for all that he's given to Irish rugby. And I thought he actually looked pretty lively against Italy when he received the ball on only the couple of occasions that he did. So yeah, just to reiterate, top fella. Awesome rugby player, good family man as well, and I think everybody in Irish rugby will be wishing him very, very well come Saturday evening at 5:30.